How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name, of course, is Breezy, and as always, if you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video as well. It's that time where we delve into the stream save and talk through all things that are happening over there, and if you do want to tune into a stream to catch all the action live, you can do so by hitting the follow button at twitch.tv/m_breezy. Link, as always, in the description. So following on from the last video where I had to explain to you how we disastrously lost our job at Southampton, I'm happy to confirm that we have indeed found ourselves a new club. I mean, you've seen the thumbnail. You should know who we're now the manager of. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now the manager of Brighton and Hove Albion. It was actually quite interesting how this all came about, to be honest. In the period where we were unemployed, we basically, simmed through the rest of that season at Southampton, so the end of season 2. It wasn't until sort of November, December time in the third season where we started to get offers. We had Newcastle United offer us an interview. I decided not to go for them because everyone knows the financial situation with Newcastle and how much money they have to spend. I thought that would probably make things a little bit too easy for us. So we turned them down, decided to say no to that one. Bournemouth were the next team to offer us an interview. They were in the bottom 3, but I'll be honest, the squads that was there, I just didn't think we could really do much with it. And I think given what happened with Southampton, I could have easily just gone, well, they're in the bottom 3, we'll just take that one. But I thought, no, do you know what? We got sacked, in a way that I felt we probably deserved a little bit more time. Even though we did underperform, I think we can afford to take our time with it a little bit and actually pick a club that we feel like there's enough foundations there that we can build on and take to the next level. Besides, I've already broken one of the rules by not ending the save, so why not break another? And then, interestingly, sitting in 12th place, Brighton and Hove Albion, they lose Graham Potter, not by sacking him. He decided to leave to join 17th place Brentford. So we joined in the January of season 3, so that sort of half of the season we managed to get through pretty quickly, and yeah, it was stressful, to say the very least. So unbelievably, I mean, you're really going to make this up, our first game in charge was away at Southampton. In that game, we actually ended up getting a 1-1 draw, and that was followed up by another away trip, this time to Graham Potter's Brentford, where we drew 2-2. I've nearly knocked something over there. 2 away games and a draw in each of them, and I'm that sort of player who thinks at any point away from home, obviously depending on what sort of season you're going for. If you're trying to win the league, you want to win as many games as possible, obviously. But for a team like Brighton, who was sort of mid-table at the time, well, a couple of away points, not that bad. I was thinking there's definitely something we can build on here. Definitely a good set of players and some good performances that we can really build on and maybe try and push up the table a little bit more towards the end of the season. What followed? I don't think FN22 is my game this year, to be honest. Something's telling me I'm just not that good at it this year. As you can see, we went on a run of, blimey, 8 Premier League games without a win. Oh, not even 8 Premier League games, about 8 Premier League games where we lost in a row. I mean, it's 10 games without a win if you include the 2 draws, really. So that's even worse. Starting to sound like a little bit of a broken record here, but again, it's similar to what was going on with us at Southampton. We were conceding far too many goals from crosses, and we were getting chances in games, but just not taking them. Newcastle was fairly even, but their quality shone through. I mean, they've got players like Zapata, Isaac, Madueke, like people like that. They just had a better team than we were. The home game against Leicester was annoying because I felt like we dominated that game, and, well, yeah, crosses and balls over the top cost us, and we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Go on, Sesko. Oh, it's such a poor finish. And now they're going to get a chance, and they score immediately. It's very Southampton-esque, this. But then the run of fixtures following that, I've got no excuses for you. We were just terrible. West Ham, Leeds, Manchester United all battered us. Sheffield United away, who were like 19th at the time. A last-minute winner for them in the 91st minute. We lost 2-1 there. Where is it going? You are joking me. Get out. It was one long ball, just right down the middle. Oh, Christ. Followed by a 2-0 defeat at home to Manchester City, which is obviously going to happen. But it was here we were starting to panic a little bit. I was starting to panic a little bit. Due to the club's expectations being just survive relegation or avoid being relegated, our manager rating was always at a B, but it was around this point it dropped to like a C-. And I thought, if I get sacked again, we might just have to call this save there and just knock it on the head and start something new, because it's something about this particular save is just not working for me. One more league defeat then, and the final game of this season where we played a 5 at the back system, because as you can see here, we used it throughout most of this run where we got those defeats. 2-0 defeat at home. I mean, there was some encouraging performances from certain players in this game, but we never really looked like winning it. So for the Liverpool game at home, which ends up being unbelievably our first win as Brighton manager, a 1-0 win. We went to a 4-3-3 system with Basuma playing as a DM, Lokonga as a ball winning midfielder next to Alexis McAllister as an attacking advanced playmaker. And it was a weird game. Most of the, the entire first half, I don't think there was any highlights. It just went straight through to half-time. Liverpool having plenty of shots, but not a lot on target, which says to me we were defending quite well. And then 3 minutes into the second half, step forward, Leandro Trossard. End of that. Go on, Trossard, just curl it. Come on! Yes, viewers! What a strike from Trossard! Let's go! Good God! What a strike! Unbelievable scenes, really. I mean, what a way to win a game. Against Liverpool as well, who actually went on to win the league that season. So, yeah, mental. My last game as Southampton manager, we beat Liverpool. And my first win as Brighton manager, we beat Liverpool. I think I'm just better than Jurgen Klopp at this point. Following that up then was another 1-0 win, this time against Everton. Benjamin Sesko, one of my few January recruits, getting on the score sheet there with about 18 minutes to go. And then a couple of disappointing results. 1-0 defeat away at West Brom, who were bottom at the time. Very annoying. A 1-1 draw away at Bournemouth, and then a 1-0 defeat at home to Aston Villa. But we ended the season strong. A brilliant 2-0 win away at Arsenal. Can we fashion out another chance? You got Ivan Nilsson ahead of you, Cucurella. That's the ball. Sesko, you're going to get there first. Oh my God, Ramsdale! Oh my God, Aaron Ramsdale was absolutely cocked it up, viewers. It's 2-0 to the Brighton Hove Albion. Let's go. What was Aaron Ramsdale playing at? Oh my word. He's fallen over the ball, viewers. It's an absolute disaster. Szymański and Sesko once again getting on the score sheet, and then Sesko rounding us off on the last game of the season with a 1-0 home win against Norwich, which saw us finish in 14th place when all was said and done. So I came in and dropped them 2 places down the league, which, yeah, not great, I'll be honest. So to give you an idea then, this was basically the system that we were playing throughout most of that horrendous run where we weren't getting any wins. And, yeah, we weren't getting any success with it. Players like, mainly our defence, like Lewis Dunk, Adam Webster, Ostergaard, who was there well, none of them could put in consistent performances. And I think someone summed up in the Twitch chat the other night, whereas one game would be the defence would have an absolute howler, then the next game the defence would play quite well, but the midfield would be absolutely terrible, and then in the following game it would be the attack that would let us down because we couldn't put our chances away to save our lives. But eventually we did end up ditching that and we went to this 4-3-3 system, which I think, given the midfielders we got, especially having Basuma, Sambi Lokonga, who was on loan from us at the time, spoiler alert, we brought him in permanently, and McAllister ran off that midfield free, I think it just made us, weirdly enough, so much better defensively, getting rid of the extra centre-back and making that position a defensive midfielder and dropping the wing-backs back. It's just something about it. It just made us way more harder for teams to break us down and play against. I think part of the problem is that 5 at the back system that we were playing, which I think I've still got loaded somewhere, but this is essentially the shape that we were playing, and we were sort of playing a more positive approach and like with higher lines in terms of defensive line and line of engagement. I think we were just a little bit too attacking in a way. I always had this thing this year on FM where if you play, I mean, not even just this year on FM, just FM in general, I think if you play a back 5, you can afford your mentality to be a little bit more attacking because you do have the security of the extra centre-back. And obviously if your wing-backs are good enough to get up and down the pitch, you can be defensively solid out of possession, but when you bomb forward, you've got plenty of options going for you when you're trying to create chances. However, with this set of players, it just wasn't really working out for us. Again, Lewis Dunk, not the greatest ball-playing centre-back ever. I think Ostergaard had a really terrible time of it as a ball-playing centre-back. I mean, he was, I say that, he wasn't even a ball-playing centre-back, just a regular centre-back, despite the fact his attributes look fantastic here. There's a lot to like with 16 head-in, the aggression, the bravery, the natural fitness and the stamina, and his work rate. Like, there's a lot to like, and I really liked the look of him when we first came in, but just couldn't get a tune out of him. I mean, it says his average rating there was 6.91 in the league. I mean, that must have been under Potter. When I had him, he was a nightmare. But I think since switching to this more sort of traditional 4-3-3 system, I should say one of our January signings, who's actually not been kept on for the second season, was Schlotterbeck from Freiburg, I believe it was. Him and Dunk ended up, once we actually went to this back 4, formed a really, really good, solid defensive partnership. There's a lot of potential with this Brighton side, I think. I think the midfield 3, I'm a big fan of. I think there's a lot we can work with there. Cucurella and Lamperty, like when they're on it, they're exceptional, especially Cucurella. I'm a big, big fan of him this year. Going into the next season, we have had bids from the likes of Real Madrid and teams like that, and I'm doing everything I can to try and keep him at the club. He's not kicked off yet, thankfully, but yeah, my plan is to at least get one more year out of him, because you can see he's just absolutely fantastic. McAllister, I'm a big fan of as well. He is a player that we may eventually upgrade and get someone who's slightly better in him in. But I think for where Brighton are now, we're not in European competitions. You know, we've just got a league campaign and 2 cup competitions to worry about. I think McAllister is more than good enough to get through another season. Maybe a couple more seasons, even if he just slowly transitions into just being a squad player for us. But certainly for the meantime, he's one of our main men. And we touched on him briefly, but of course, Benjamin Sesko, a player that I brought in the January. He was still at Salzburg and he had that £14.5 million release clause. I mean, how can you not get him in? The pace is fantastic. His off the ball is great. His technicals are starting to improve. I want that 13 finishing and 13 composure to improve as we go on. But he's only 21. There's still plenty of time for that to happen. But yeah, in his debut, like nearly full, well, not in a full season, but you know, his debut season in the Premier League, 7 goals in 15 appearances, in 15 starts, sorry, for Brighton, which for a 20 to 21-year-old in his first year in England, you definitely take that. And if he plays a full season, you're looking at getting what, about 14, hopefully 15 goals in the Premier League next year. That's the hope of Benjamin Sesko. But he's someone I've used before this year on FM, and he's absolutely magnificent. I can't wait to see what he does in this Brighton team. And since some of you may be interested to know what Southampton got up to, they actually ended up finishing 6th. They got the Europa Conference League, so good for them. Though I'm starting to notice that a lot of their players are starting to get poached by the bigger teams, so hopefully they'll drop off considerably next season and we can get the best of them next year. Again, they're the enemy of the save now. We have to try and match them at every opportunity. That then, ladies and gentlemen, is going to bring this round up to a close. I'd love to sort of go a little bit more in depth into the tactics and the players and stuff, but we've streamed since the end of the season, and we've actually quite far. As you can see, 10th of August. We're about to start the new season. In hindsight, I should have made a save file where I could actually go into more of the data of our first 6 months in charge of Brighton, but unfortunately wouldn't be able to do it this time. We are going to be kicking off season 4 of the save, and our first full season in charge of Brighton. I mean, the day this uploaded, we'll be streaming it tonight, so make sure you get involved in it. Again, I'll leave a link to the Twitch in the description. Come and check it out if you haven't seen a stream already, and you'll see how this new look Brighton team is getting. I mean, if you tune into a stream, you get to see the new players you brought in before anyone else who watches it on YouTube does. So if that's not incentive enough, I don't know what is. Until the next video, then, ladies and gents, thank you as always for watching. Once again, my name has been Breezy, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.